Hi everyone, it's Barry here from Mitosu Crafts, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Fun Fold Friday video tutorial. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make a hexagon twist pocket card. It was requested to us by the lovely Krista. She asked if we could give us an idea for this one, and the original idea which I saw was from the Paper Pixie. So I will pop some links down below for that one there, but thank you so much to Krista and the Paper Pixie for this lovely idea. All the products you see me using are available to purchase from us via our online shop. Links can be found down below in the description, as well as other links which we think you may find useful. And if you would like to see more videos like this, please remember to subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see, and make sure you turn on all notifications if you'd like to be notified of all videos which we post live and otherwise. Okay, so I'm going to crack on, show you how to make this hexagon twist pocket card. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's get started. As you can see right here, I'm going to be using the Pansy Patch stamp set and some of the Designer Series paper to do this as well. So I'm going to be using the Pansy Petals Designer Series paper, which is this one right here. So it's a lovely stamp set. It's a 2 3-step stamping as well, because you layer all of these stamps up. So I'm going to do some nice little bunch of pansies, and obviously then talk you through step by step what to do. So this is the set which I'm using. You're going to need one large piece of cardstock, which is measuring 8 1/8 by 8 1/4. You will need some Designer Series paper. You will need one piece measuring 2 1/4 by 4 and 2 pieces measuring 2 1/4 by 3 and 7/8 of an inch. Okay. You will then need some of your chosen coloured cardstock, and you will need 3 pieces of this one here, measuring 2 1/4 by 4 inches. And you will need 3 pieces of basic whites, measuring 2 by 3 3/4. And you will need 3 of those, okay? I'm also going to be using the lovely Treasure Tags Punch as well to create the banner for the sentiment on the front. So first things first is we're going to take the 8 1/8 by 8 1/4 piece of cardstock. So this is Calypso Coral I've decided to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this. Make sure I've got the right one. You want to score it on the 8 1/8 edge. So just make sure you get the correct edge, because they are both very similar to each other. So it's that way there. So the 8 1/8 edge needs to be on the top. And what I want you to do is I want you to score this at 1/2 inch. And then 2 7/8 of an inch. So what I've just done there is it's just easier to score at 1/2 inch on this side of the trimmer. And then I just turn it back round again, and then score it at 2 7/8 of an inch. So then it's just the correct way. Rather than fumbling with 1/2 inch this side here, I suppose I could hold it like that and score it. Sometimes it's just easier to do it the other way. So if you're wondering why I flipped it round, that's why I did it. It's no different just using a 1/2 inch and then come back around and then carry on with the rest of the measurements. So 1/2 inch, 2 7/8, 5 1/4, and 7 5/8. Right there. Rotate it round, and then what you then want to do is you then want to then score this at 4 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so you've ended up with something like that. This is going to be the front. So what we're going to do is we're now going to turn this over. So we've got the raised score lines now showing upwards. And then what we want to do is we then want to then score diagonally from this corner right here down to the second line. So we missed the second line out here. Or so we missed the middle line out. So we go from that corner down to here. And then we go from this one down to here. Okay. So I'm just going to line that up there, and then line. See if I can get that in camera for you. So I'm just lining that score line up with my track, and then lining this one up down the bottom down here. I'll show you that on camera. Okay, so I've just lined up the score line in the track here, and then this score line with the track down here, and then I just score diagonally. And then do exactly the same for the next one across. So just move it across to the next score line and then do that again. Okay, so you have ended up with something like that. Just like, can you see that on camera? I think you can. Okay, good. So what you want to do now is we now want to fold and burnish this. So I'm going to turn it back the correct way again now, so that the raised parts are now on the back side, and I just want to fold it in on itself and then fold on every score line. I always kind of like keep the raised parts of the score lines at the inside, so you fold into that. This is how I work anyway. Okay, so you've got that. So we're just doing the straight ones. Then turn it over and then do the diagonal lines. It's quite important that you do it that way, so that it helps the whole fold. And so you've kind of got these mountains and your valleys here, so it helps it fold together later on. Okay, so that's that one. So you've got it this way here. So if you just imagine you've got one rectangle which hasn't got any scoring in it, and you've got one rectangle which hasn't got any scoring in it that way. So if you have it down like this with the diagonal lines going across this way, we'll be fine. And what we want to do is we want to remove this tab here and this tab right here. So that's what you're now looking like. Okay, so it's still as if it's wanting to fold in on itself. Then what I would suggest you do is with these parts right here, I would just notch in a big tab like so, like that on both of those. It just helps when we come to stick things together later on, because when we want to do is we want to fold this over, and you just want to make sure this doesn't interfere with this side here. So I just cut a strip down there and cut a strip down here, just so it doesn't interfere with that score line. Okay, so that's what you like. So we've now got the front here, and what we want to do is we want to pop some of our designer series paper on here. So we have got the designer series pieces here, measuring, remember, one was at 2 1/4 by 4, and you've got two measuring 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. The one which is the 2 1/4 by 3 7/8, the largest one out of the three, which is only a fraction bit larger, which is that one there, we're going to pop down here like this. Okay, so now we've got this part stuck down here, we now need to then cut the other two pieces, so the 2 1/4 by 3 7/8 pieces down to size. So we need to cut them diagonally. So we need to pop it here, here, and here and here. Okay, so we need to make sure that we cut. So if we've got this in position like this, so just as an idea, we want to make sure that we cut here from this corner down to this corner on both of these. Okay, it's important that you do that, because if you cut it the wrong way, you're going to end up having to use the other side, which is fine if that's the side you want to use. But if you want to make sure everything matches, make sure that you cut from, as you're looking at it like this, you cut from the top right down to the bottom left. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick those 4 pieces down right now. What we then want to do is we can then fold this in on itself. So turn it over, fold this over and fold this over, pop some adhesive on this, and then we can then stick it together. If you're using wet glue, just be careful with how much you use. And then fold that over, and then just hold that down just to set itself up. So once that's stuck up, turn it around this way like this, and then you can then kind of just push it all in on itself, and it then creates your hexagonal pocket card. All right, so they kind of want to go wherever it is, but if I just, I'm kind of just pushing in from both sides, and it naturally then wants to then fold itself on each other, and that's it. So now what we want to do is the decoration side of it. So I'm just going to pop that to one side just to let that dry. So now we've got our pieces here. So I've got some of the fresh freesia, which was measuring 2 1/4 by 4. And I've got my 3 pieces here measuring 3 pieces measuring 2 by 3 and 3 3/4. So I've got those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to take this one right here, and I'm going to do some stamping on this one here. So this is where the flowers come in. So I've made myself some masks. First things first is I want to just, I think, stamp in Balmy Blue first of all. And I'm using the whole solid stamp. And I'm just going to go down like this. I'm then going to use Pacific Points. And I'm going to pop this over the top of it. Excuse my head sneaking in if it's coming in. Down like that. And then I use the Pacific Point again. So then pop this centre part in. And that's that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that step 3 times with some different colours. So I'm going to bring in the fresh freesia and gorgeous grape. And I have got polished pink and rich raspberry. So I start with a lighter colour first. But what I've done is I have, off camera, is I've cut myself some masks. So what I've done is I've just stamped the outside image, and that's going to go over the top like this. I'll then take my image again, and then I will then just pop this over the top like that. Take the gorgeous grape. Over the top like that. And then we use the gorgeous grape again for the centre parts. We keep that one in place, and then I use my second mask, which I've made. So this is just out of some post-it notes, some sticky notes. Goes over like that. And then I grab my polished pink and rich raspberry. So the same thing, I would go in with my polished pink, pop that down like that. Now these are quite new pads, so the juicier they are, you get a little bit more patchiness. So it's better sometimes with these 2 steps to actually go with a drier stamp set, or a drier ink pad if you've got one. So one which has been well loved and well used. That's that, and then, sorry, just rich raspberry, and I need to do that in the middle. Like that there. So I've got the petals here, which I've got the larger one, which is for the background, so for the lighter colour, and then you've got my detail, which is here. And I'm going to be using the soft succulent and evening evergreen. And then what I'm going to do is I'll take the evening evergreen, and I'm just going to leave those 2 masks in place, and then just do that. And take my evening evergreen here, and then pop that over the top of that, like so, just to add a little bit of detail. Move that mask down here, and I'll do another one down the bottom. So if I just a sticky note underneath that, just so I can come off the page, and then go down like that. And that one there, and then I just need to move this one up to that corner. And finish off with the Evening Evergreen. And you want to do this on all 3 pieces of your basic whites. Once you're happy with that, just go ahead and remove these masks, and then you've got yourself a little bunch of pansies right here, and a little thing which you can just write a little sentiment on if you want to. So do that 3 times. So I've gone ahead and I've already gone and done my 3, and then I'm going to then just go and stick these now to the fresh freezer, so the 2 1/4 by 4 inch pieces. So just stick those to each and every one of those ones right there. And there we have it. There's those 3. So these now fit in here quite nicely. So you've got like these little pockets, which you can then stick these in, and then you've got your final pocket, which is going to be this one right here. So it's a bit of a diagonal, and that goes in like that. So these fit some gift cards in it as well, so you can have a little message on each one if you want to. They just go in. That's a lovely idea. I just love this. Wish I could take credit for it. And there we go. Okay, so that's that. What we now need to do is we need to pop a sentiment on the front, and then we need to tie a bow. Yes, I said tie a bow round the outside of that. I might tie the bow first and get that out of the way. So I've got my ribbons here, and I am going to be using the fresh freezer here. So this is the coordinating ribbon, and we just want to wrap this round, and we kind of use it as a bit of as a belly band. So bring it round, tie a knot, okay, and then we'll tie it into a bow. Okay, so eventually you will get a ribbon which is tight enough to go around that, and then once you're happy with that, we can then just snip off the tails like so, and then we can then just manipulate this as we want, depending. Make the bow slightly smaller, and it's designed to slide off and then slide back on as well. So once you've got the bow tied once, then that's that should be okay. So that's going to go up like that. That's holding that nicely in place. Then to finish off, what we're going to do is we're going to do a sentiment. So I've got a piece here. So this bit here was the offcut from my from this cardstock here. So if you cut this one here with an A4 and you cut it at the 8 1/8, and you're left with a piece on the other side, this is a bit you were left with, or a much longer bit, and I've just gone and cut myself off 1/2 inch piece, which is going to go, 3/4 inch, which is going to go into the treasured tag punch. And I've got myself a piece of basic white, which is the 1/2 inch, which is going to go into that part right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to then punch out my desired piece for one side, stamp my sentiment. So I've got here a little hello from me to you. I'm just going to stamp that in some memento, and then what I would then do is I would then use this piece right here just to gauge where I want to cut off, and then just snip up like so. Then I can then pop that back into my punch once again, and then I've got myself an even sentiment. Do the same with your Calypso coral. Pop it in, punch one out one side, punch one out the other side, if it's the correct size for you already. It all depends on your sentiment. If not, then just measure it, and then that's going to then stick in just like that. Okay, you can either stick this down now onto some dimensionals or down flat if you want. So I'm going to stick this onto some dimensionals, and this is what you would be left with. Okay, so you've got that now onto some dimensionals. All we want to do now to finish this card off is stick that down like that inside. All right, so a bit of wet glue on the back here, and then stick that in the middle, just like that. So we can tidy up that bow if necessary. And there we have it. There is our Hexagon Pocket Card. So it's nice and tight, it's got a nice belly band on there. We can remove that ribbon like that, and then the card opens up like this to reveal your little pockets inside with your messages or gift cards. Okay, so there is today's Fun Fold Friday. So I hope you've enjoyed this Hexagon Pocket Card. Links to the products I have used can be found down below in the description if you would like to purchase anything from us. Please remember to give us the thumbs up as well, and hit that subscribe button if you have enjoyed today's Fun Fold Friday. So we'll be back with you again next week with another fun fold, and please keep those recommendations coming in. Anything you'd like to see us, email us, barryandj@mitosucrafts.com, and I will see if I can make it for you. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you again very soon. Take care for now. Bye bye.